Hey, what is up, YouTube? How's it going, y'all? How was your Father's Day? This is Sparky Marky Mark here, and I'm here to do a quick review on Ghostbusters franchise and talk the differences and what has been occurred over the last perhaps 4 years now since that Abomination version had come out. But to talk about this, my opinion for this is that okay, my first impression when I saw Ghostbusters, um, they we go way back, dated back like say 16 years ago in 2004 at the time of the 20th anniversary of that movie. I saw it for the first time on TNT, and I had to say it was a joyful movie, and I dug it. The sequel, I wasn't aware of it. I've seen some of it and bits and almost to the whole end, all the way back when I was in middle school or onto high school on Comedy Central, and I saw the film. Not bad, give it or take, but I like both. And since then, I became big on Ghostbusters, hardcore ever since. And of course, at the time of this, we'll talk about with this set here. It's the double feature that has the first two. You have booklets in here. And I gotta say, this takes me way back. Like at the same time when I saw the movie, what is it? This was 16 years ago, and I gotta say, I really enjoyed every bit of this, including this booklet. Thank God I was taking extra care of it at the time. Learning more about this than meets the eye. And these are indeed the heroes of the story. From storyboards to the sets, miniatures, guys in suits, stop motions, and I gotta say, even the wristwatches that the heroes were wearing were the Seiko 5 Talk Watch Note something. Like you can, I'll leave the description box, or you do know the commercial ad for those Seiko technologies. This was many years before we've heard of the iWatch or the Apple Watch. And of course, here this page you have sketches and you have characters of the stories played by the actors, of course. And they did do great collaborations. No lie there. I love Stay Puft Marshmallow. Man, very cool. And great storyboard details of the film. The Ecto-1. Actually, it's a 1959 Hearst, but all in all, they race stats and them did a great job on this vehicle. Very great indeed. Pause that if you guys like that. Or pause it as quick as possible if you like any of the pages. Get her! Yeah, the whole plan. Get her! Wow. Looks like they underestimated the ghost very good. Night, Dad. Love you. And of course, here's the posters. Actually, that looks like a VHS cover. That after the film was released, and a few months after that, Good night, Dad. I will. And here is the poster when the films came out. These two right here. The middle right there may look like a poster. Perhaps I thought it was the VHS cover. Here is the sequel. Both posters are very good. They're called Ghostbusters. And I gotta be extreme careful with this book. I mean, I've had this since middle school, and I never even rugged it or anything like that. It's a great scrapbook of how the film was Shout outs to the writers, including the director. And then on to this. I gotta say, when I first got these, I became hardcore on these ever since. Got from the deleted scenes, the featurettes, filmmakers. Oh shit, I gotta put paper sleeves on these. And you guys like to know what this is? Just for the record, it didn't came with the movie or anything. It came on a Johnny Lightning set for Ghostbusters, of course. This is the background from the first movie. Instead, it doesn't come with the original Ecto-1 scale car, or not a big size, just about this size of a car. We didn't even get to see that until the sequel. Gotta put a paper sleeve on that. In fact, may have one right next to me. Oh yeah, right next to me. This is how I take care of my DVDs. Of course, be extremely carefully when you put these inside, because I don't like to damage these discs. These are good films, I gotta say, musts. Of course, I didn't notice about this until like, what, 4 years ago, I believe. 8 years ago. Who knows these days. And when you put it inside these thin cases or other type of cases, you got to be careful what you're doing. Make sure the cover art hasn't done anything else. Okay, there. I will do it. Then for the sequel, after the first film was released, the show, it got a television series, believe it or not, of course, over the years. The real Ghostbusters, in which I have it around here. Got it a few weeks after my birthday, or before my birthday, and I gotta say I love the show. And I gotta say, it aired only from 86 to 91, 5 years, and it ended in October of 1991, about 6 months after I was born, and I wasn't aware of the series at the time. Here's the sequel about negative energy and all that. Here contains 2 episodes from the animated series, the real Ghostbusters, just 2 episodes, no behind the scenes or no more what they given us. Until 2014, with the celebration of both anniversaries for 1 and 2, the 30th and the 25th anniversaries, Ghostbusters just already got their 4K scan of the films, where you want to get the digibook versions. Both have 4Ks, good quality, and then it's got chunks of special features and 2 music videos. Unfortunately, these don't have music videos, unfortunately. If you get the green case version, the standalone, not in a box, but it doesn't have the music videos from Ray Parker Jr., who did the music for the original. And the score was composed by, Elmer Bernstein, if I got the name right. Yep, Elmer Bernstein. Elmer Bernstein came back to, well, let me see something if I got the score of the film. Oh, wait a minute. The score for the sequel was done by Randy Eldenman. So, yeah. But of course, Bobby Brown did the music for On Our Own. And then there's another song done by, at the soundtrack, of course. And where is it? Let me just put the volume down. Of course, I'm not even going to play the music, but here it is. Done by Howard Hutz. Zoom in, there's the cover for the soundtrack, and then there's Howard Huntsbury. A version from this song is Higher and Higher, done by that was originally done in the 70s by Jackie Wilson. And it was 5 years since Jackie Wilson, well, before, he died in 1984 when the first Ghostbusters came out, and it was 5 years later after his passing and the original Ghostbusters. And all in all, I do like the song, and I like Bobby Brown's music On Our Own, and there is a music video and clips from the film. All in all, I dig the sequel. and it was great. Even though it wasn't a bigger hit than the first, but I loved it. And then, of course, it was intriguing and hearing rumors that they were going to do another. But before all that, Ghostbusters, the real Ghostbusters, ended after, I don't know how many seasons. It was between 86 to 91, maybe 5 or 6 seasons. And then you have the real Ghostbusters that aired in the late 90s of 1991. Here, you add a female in it. Now, that's great as long as you work with guys in it. That's cool. And Slimer became like the buddy of them. He's like, what, an informant of theirs to know where there's Ghostbusters? Oh, I mean, where there's ghosts all over the city? I mean, he became like, what, an informant? A buddy of theirs all of a sudden? And, but anyway, the Extreme Ghostbusters unfortunately only aired for one season, and it ended in 1990s, in November of 97. I was about 6 at the time. Some of my homies were about 8, and at the time my buddy turned 8 that year. And it was a month before my friend's 6th birthday. I was 6, but my buddy was born in December, and another buddy was about to turn 4 that year. And then about 12 years later, I believe. Yeah, 12 years later, at the time I was done with high school, I wasn't aware there was a video game called the Ghostbusters video game, in which the story, of course, takes place about 2 years after the events of Ghostbusters 2. This takes place in the early 90s of 1991. Obviously, I got my copy, but it's for the PS4, and it came out last year, and this is remastered, and it's a good story. So, it was a big hit, making this feel like a third film. Be very honest, it did feel like a third film. It really is a heck of a third film. And then, of course, you've heard the abomination that happened in 2016. Yeah. As a hardcore fan of the first 2 Ghostbusters and the television shows, cartoon shows, of course, and big fan of comedy as well, as long as they did it with respect and everything. And then planning to do more and more and more. They were thinking about doing this, doing that. I'll send you a link to GoodBadFlicks' review of Ghostbusters 2, and then there's no review for the 2016. All I can tell you is from other viewers and myself. Well, even though I left comments on their videos, of course, even like years later. What is it? In 2014, of course, when I was 23, I was shocked to hear Harold Ramis passed, and I was so bummed out I never got a chance to meet him. I never been to a Ghostbusters convention. Even though I live in Vice City my entire life, I never went as far as California. I mean, I went to Vegas, but I highly doubt they don't do conventions or Comic-Cons and all that stuff. And then I was shocked to hear that he passed, really. It was a bummer. So, when I heard about the 2016, my goodness, mamma mia, what up with that? Yo, what up with that? So, I was disappointed among the other fans, and the story behind that trailer, that god-awful trailer, of course, it fooled us into thinking it was a continuation from where the first 2 Ghostbusters left off, saying that it was 30 years ago, a team of scientists saved New York, and then 30 years later, a new team is rising up to take the torch. But it turns out it wasn't. And the graphics were god-awful. And another take, in my opinion, and if it was a continuation, the ladies would be related to the Ghostbusters. Like if they were start with sisters, cousins, nieces, or daughters of the original Ghostbusters, or students as well. Pass the torch. But no, instant reboot. And of course, and at the time I was saying to some of my friends or anybody, I would have a vision of Harold Ramis turning over in his grave if he heard that. And yeah. And it was ridiculously god-awful, little over the top, something like that, and it wasn't, how you call it, treated with respect or anything. And of course, classifying that it was the most hated trailer of its day. It wasn't loved by anybody. Some people like it because of the effects, yeah, this and that, yeah, whatever. And Ray Parker Jr. talks about it was about the music, of course. Yeah, I'll leave you a link to the description box with Ray Parker Jr. chatting about it, just for like a minute or two. And also, I was not approving with the soundtrack, really. It was dishonoring. And the Ghostbusters car, the Ecto one, it was crappy. It's a total counterfeiting knockoff, really. And putting a nuclear reactor on a hearse, what, dudes? That's gonna go kaboom big. And literally, they just gave a ghost a nuke. My goodness. And be honest, if you're reacting what I just said, yeah. I did see little bits of it on FX channel, and I gotta say, not my favorite, and no wonder why. And of course, another things, in my opinion, let me have my take on the ladies, like Dr. Aaron Gilbert. How about Dr. Dr. Aaron Bakeman? Let me have a little tea there, just a little drink, zippity zip. And as well as Dr. Abby Yates. How about Dr. Abby Stats? All right. And of course, Dr. Jillian Holtzman. How about Dr. Jillian Spangler? And Patty Tolan. How about Patty Zetmore? That would have been great. It would have been great. And of course, my worst opinion in that movie is Chris Hemsworth's character playing a dork. Seriously, a dork. Man, out of other characters he had played, I rather like him better as the Marvel Cinematic character of Thor, not Thor Odinson, not a dork. Like what? Did Janine Mullitzen and Louis Tully just gave birth to a son? Or he would have been playing Oscar as an adult. But very bummer, of course, and it was not a great film. A lot of graphics and stuff were issuings and other things. But all in all, Sony lost a lot of money in sales, and God knows what they advertised. If I wasn't even aware of advertisement, I would get the Marshmallow Stave Puff Twinkie and the Slimer Key Lime Pie Twinkie, and of course the Ecto cooling drink. That's it. And the original Ecto 1 scale model. That's all I'm getting. So, in my own opinion, it was disrespectful. Then I heard the trailer for the new Ghostbusters, which has to be Ghostbusters 3 Afterlife, which I'm excited. This is a teaser poster of the film. Just a teaser poster. And I was originally looking forward this year to see it, but I was so angry when I heard they delayed it, and of course, we have to wait till next year on March 5th. But 2 weeks after March 5th, March 19th is going to be the release of a Marvel movie called Morbius, and which will be connected to the Spider-Man universe stuff. And I'm not pleased with that idea. Should it be releasing in September, of course, because you're going to have a competition with a Marvel movie. And every one of us knows comic book movies or Marvel-based films make a lot of money than other movies. So yeah. And more shout-outs to the Cinemassacre, James Rolf. Yo, James Rolf, man, you the man, dude. Alright? Shoutouts to you, man, and I'm subscribed to your channel, man. Dig your channel on video games, movie reviews. Heck, you the man, dude. And some of my friends are subscribed to you as well. And, of course, I've heard about the game, of course, from GoodBadFlicks. I wasn't aware if I still wanted to use my PS2. I mean, it's different. I should have had the other model, but all in all, thank God they have it for the Nintendo Switch and for the PS4. And I gotta say, it is great video game. I'm continue playing it soon, of course. But since then, I've been caught up with life and maybe sometimes hanging with my buddies or taking a little bit of running distance and other things. Now with this pandemic shit going on, blah blah. Thanks to that, of course. I mean, seriously. So we're gonna be expecting to see the trailer during fall, and can't wait to see what more is in it. So, who's excited? Let me know in the comments down below. Of course, and of course, to any fans, subscribe to my channel, share my videos, like my videos, leave comments down below, and stay tuned for more videos coming soon. And I'll leave you a link in the description box for the music videos. So, shoutouts to James Rolf, and shoutouts to all you YouTubers out there, and for the people that are subscribed to my channel. And of course, tell your friends about this channel and other things. And of course, more news update for this. Finding out that Indiegogo is distributing funds for the distribution for Friday the 13th Vengeance. So it's finally get physical media. To all you horror fans out there, link will be in the description box down below. So this is Marky Mark. I'm out of here, and happy hunting. Whoosh.